We're good? Okay. Hi, welcome everyone to this Tuesday, January 21st, 2025 business meeting of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and can everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay. Procedures? Oh, the correspondence. How did I miss that? Okay, the correspondence. Ms. Santos.
Yes, all correspondence was via email. December 3rd, Chris Smookler, Cheer Nationals. December 17th, Francis Smookler, 2025 OB cheerleading trip to Orlando. December 18th, Chris Smookler, regarding Cheer Nationals. December 18th, Christine Cruz, regarding cheerleading national competition. December 18th, Juliana Sacco, regarding travel arrangements for Oyster Bay cheer team. December 18th, Ms. Rodriguez, travel arrangement for Oyster Bay cheer team. December 18th, Christina Emerson, regarding the cheer team. December 19th, Stacy Hammond, regarding archived school budgets. January 2nd, Chris Smookler, regarding OB cheer trip to nationals. January 3rd, Chris Smookler, regarding OB cheer trip to nationals. And from November 26th to January 17th, there was 51 emails from Ms. Nadani and Mr. Diebold regarding various subjects.
Thank you, Ms. Santos. Let's move on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Ms. Kowalski, and good evening, everybody. Students are doing very well. They were kind of upset yesterday that we had snow, but we had no school, so they didn't have to get to snow day. So I'm trying to tell them that we're going to have a longer Memorial Day weekend, which is always good when the weather is nice. So some of the students were upset. The counseling department hosted a successful grade 7 night, welcoming all the 7th grade parents and talk about all the interesting initiatives that we have at the high school, talking about the transition to high school. So it was a great night, diploma requirements and all of that. So I want to thank Dr. Dianco for the coordination of that. And it was a great night to work with the parents and get them ready for what's coming next. Additionally, I just want to ask the parents and they're listening at home to mark your calendar for February 27th, together with the principals, Ms. Smith, Ms. Argument, curriculum associate, and the assistant principal. We've been working on this wonderful presentation for the parents in grade 3 through 7 to prepare students for what's coming to the next step. So the presentation is called Setting the Stage for Success. Hope to prepare your elementary children for the success at the high school and beyond. So it's definitely a presentation that you do not want to miss if you're a parent of a 3rd grader, 4th grader, the importance of the assessment, the importance of learning and assessment as a learning experience, which is key in our success and the student's success. Winter concerts, we had the last winter concert last week. Students did very, very well. I want to thank all the teachers and Miss Erica Giopac for the wonderful leadership that she's providing, putting a spotlight on the students and the staff that we have. They truly do an impressive job. The Atlantis Symposium was January 14th. We had a lot of projects that were displayed, and the best part, so many projects, but the best part was the students explaining all those projects. So we are working together with the administrative team and the board to create a similar program that we have at Vernon. We have the Atlantis program, the talented, gifted and talented. So we're working together with the board and the team to make sure that we have that program that will continue. So more to come on that end, and it's some exciting stuff. We also had, last week was a busy week, we also had the Executive Director of Long Island Coalition Against Bullying, Joseph Salomone, that came and presented to the students of Vernon through several workshops that he had. Is wonderful in his presentation, very engaging. And the best part was that each session closed with the students pledging to be junior leaders in preventing incident of bullying, which was great. Tonight, you'll see on the agenda the 25-26 calendar. I know it's coming fast. We've been working on that calendar for several months. The calendar has pretty much the starting of school after Labor Day. We have the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and we have a longer December break. So it's going to go from December 24th all the way to January 4th. So it's going to be a really long one. I don't know what I'm going to do with all that time off. It's going to be tough to stay home. Usually we build the calendar with 2 snow days. We're going to continue that practice. So if we don't use the snow days, then we have a longer Memorial Day weekend, which is always nice. The short version of the calendar will be posted online so everybody could make their plan, their arrangements for vacations. And then from now, after the board approves the calendar, all the way to August, when we'll mail it home, we would have all the details day by day. In terms of Board of Education goals update, this is the fun time. The budget numbers just came today. So tonight we're going to start the first presentation, the first budget presentation. So we work very hard to make sure that the students get what they need and the community has a tax levy that is not overwhelming. So we've been successful every year projecting and planning, not just year to year. I think that's our major strength, is to look 2-3 years down the line to make sure that the community, the budget doesn't fluctuate from a low number to a high number, low number back. So that's something that we have been doing, and we've been very successful. So I'm sure that Ms. Renoir and Ms. Nyberg, Mr. Nyberg will continue to do magic with those numbers and present to the board and to the community a budget that is fiscally sound and good for students. So without further ado, I'm going to invite Ms. Renoir to the podium to do our first budget presentation. And the safety team. Multiple presentations.
So before I get into budget, I would just like to provide the board and the community with a quick update of our safety team who met back in December. First, a big thank you to Lou, our security supervisor, for all the work he does, our principals and head custodians who continue to keep the buildings as safe as possible, the teachers and staff we have on the committee not only has a valuable role for their teaching, but also the nursing and mental health professionals we have. Additionally, on our community is Mr. Peter LaDuca from the NASA Health and Safety Service. We are very, very fortunate to have him not only provide support through the year with different checklists and guidance, but also to attend our meetings to share. And a special thank you to two of our board members who also joined the committee, John Kopax and Joseph Larita, for volunteering their time. So each year, the district-wide safety team does review the district safety plan to ensure the proper training and occurs and to define the procedures. We discuss prevention and intervention strategies, but the plan is public, so there is no building level specific information or safety measures that are shared. That is done only at the building level. At the team meetings, the building level principals do report on their buildings, some of the updates that they're working on with their staff. New for this year, many parents probably have noticed, there is a parent notification that does go out now within the week of the drills that are occurring. I'm happy to also report that not only are we in compliance with our drills, but our annual training compliance, we are 100% in compliance with all staff every year, including per diem and hourly staff, contractual staff, and new staff within 30 days of their hire. We continue to work with our building staff, looking for different areas of training this year for selected targeted groups. I can, big thank you to Ms. Small for the work we did over TR for our youngest learners. I had additional training for staff for first aid, awareness with seizures and diabetes and other situations that may occur. From a hardening standpoint, we continue our multi-year replacing cameras, doing existing coverage, improving that for our exterior cameras and some of our interior cameras. And again, I just want to thank Lou, who's been working with me very closely as our security supervisor. This year, we also were able to attend the Nassau County Department of Homeland Security hosted the security supervisors and myself to go and learn up to date the latest technologies and whatever preventative measures are available, which we are able to bring back and share with our team. So a lot of the work of this team is done behind the scenes. It is deliberate because this information is public, and obviously our safety procedures shouldn't be out there publicly. But it is important to acknowledge the work of everybody who's continued to ensure our students are as safe as possible. So that's it for our safety team. And I will go right into our budget presentation. All right. We're working here. All right. So this evening brings the first of several budget presentations. As Dr. Yanni just said, the state aid numbers were just released shortly after 1 p.m., so we are still unpacking those numbers and seeing what that really means for our district. This presentation is just an overview of the introduction of the budget process and specifically the timeline of what we're going to expect over the next few months. This presentation was not only posted on our agenda on Board Docs, it will also be live on the website. There's an entire page dedicated to the budget. Not only the timeline, the PowerPoints, and any other supplemental materials will be posted there in the next day or two. So the OBEN budget is developed with the vision of empowering all students to achieve excellence. Our Board of Education goals are a focal point when developing the budget. We ensure appropriate funds are in place to achieve these goals. The goals focus on student achievement, finance and operations, as well as the community as a whole. These were all presented earlier this year and continue to be a focus for the district throughout the year. Before I get into some of the budget, I would like to take a moment and just share some of the points of pride we have for this year and where our funds are going to support our students. This year, we were able to bring in the first time for a full-day state-funded universal pre-K program. There's been several enhancements to the elementary curriculum, including some of the reading programs, the updates to Go Math, and some new robotics and coding, specifically a drone unit at Vernon. At the high school, we've increased to a gold recognition. We've received the AP Access Award, and our niche rating, we're extremely proud to hear, as we heard Ms. Hardman say last time, our niche rating has improved from 126 all the way to 42. Our strings and orchestra programs continue to expand. Fine and performing arts throughout the district has expanded, as well as some other community events. Our athletic participation, as we saw back in the fall, when we had our county and Long Island championship here. So their strong participation, their strong scholar athletes, their grades staying extremely high, and the ratings we've received with that, as well as our community involvement and their school spirit. Here's just a short list. I always like to say where some of our top students are going. It is extremely proud to see some of the accomplishments they've had as they graduate. So going into the budget now, to talk about the process first. As we work on the 25-26 budget, we do introduce a mission each year. This year, our mission is to advance the Oyster Bay East Norwich as a model of excellence and innovation, providing exceptional opportunities and outcomes for all students. We're partnering with our community and staff to ensure thoughtful management of resources and investments into the future. Our focus remains similar to last year to stay within the allowable tax levy cap, to align resources, to foster student growth and success, and to use our capital reserves and our budget allocations to make sure we're investing in our facilities for safe, efficient, and future-ready learning environments. And of course, promote fiscal responsibility for our district. So as we build the budget, simply put, our revenues will equal our expenditures, which in turn supports our programs. The majority of our expenses are coming from salaries and benefits, while the majority of the revenue comes from our tax levy and state aid. Some of the less predictable items are the CPI, state aid, healthcare costs, and insurance costs, where some of the more predictable are the salaries and contractual obligations. Before we go into the next year's budget over the next few months, it's important that I remind the community of where we are for our current year. So looking at the current year, the 24-25 budget as approved and adopted last year was $65,603,808,000, which was 2.41, which was within the allowable tax levy cap. And you can see the breakout of where each of those numbers came from at the bottom here. So this information is extremely important as we go through the next 12 months. Our strong Moody's rating, AA1, especially as we conclude our bond project, and our positive audit reports, as we heard this fall from our external auditors, R.S. Abrams, having clean audits really is what helps give us a strong financial condition for our budgets. So moving into the timeline, again, today was more of an intro of the process and the timeline. You will see there's going to be 2 more budget presentations, as well as a budget adoption on April 22nd. The budget hearing on May 6th, all concluding with our vote on May 20th. This gives a more detailed outline of each of those dates I said and exactly what to expect on each of those presentations. Again, this will be posted not only to the agenda, but also to the district's webpage. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Rayner. Any questions from the board? Can I ask, Ms. Rayner, the preliminary numbers from the state? Do you have them, or?
State aid runs came out shortly after 1 p.m. As of right now, the governor has promised that foundation aid for all districts will receive a minimum of 2%, which is exactly where I believe we're going to end up.
Okay, thanks.
Ms. Kowalski, before we continue, I just want to say a big thank you to the students that are working with us every board meeting. So we have Alex Dolan, our teacher, that is coordinating everything, but we have Noah is up in the booth. We have Madeline here helping, and Malin helping all the work. The students do all the lighting, sound, and they're amazing. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Let's move on to the approval of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes as listed and attached below?
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Let's move on to public participation for agenda items. In accordance with the Opens Meetings Law, school board meetings where school district business will be discussed are open to the public. The Oyster Bay East Norwich Board of Education welcomes public comment at its meetings. The Board of Education will respond to comments and/or inquiries in the appropriate manner. This portion of the meeting is designed exclusively for agenda items. A sign-in book is provided for those residents wishing to address the board. In order to be recognized, you must be signed in. Each speaker will be allowed a maximum of 3 minutes. The board president will call you to the microphone in the order in which you have signed in. Public discussion is prohibited regarding matters relating to an individual's reputation, privacy, or right to due process, which in some way could be violated. A second commentary period is provided for non-agenda items prior to adjournment. We thank you for your participation and cooperation. Is anybody signed in? No? Okay, let's move on to approval of instructional personnel items. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the instructional personnel items as listed in their entirety. Do I have a motion? Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Let's move on to approval of non-instructional personnel items. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the non-instructional personnel items as listed in their entirety. Do you have a motion? Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
I want to congratulate Frank LaBella as a custodian at the high
Okay.
school.
Motion carries. Congratulations. Let's move on to approval of business items. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the business items as listed in their entirety. Do I have a motion? Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Let's move on to approval of special services resolutions. Resolved upon the recommendation of Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the special services resolutions as listed in their entirety. Do I have a motion? Second. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Approval of new business resolutions. Resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the new business resolutions in their entirety. Do I have a motion? Second. Any discussion? I want to ask you a couple of questions. Can you explain a little bit about this agreement with Absolute Auctions and Realty and what it's being used for?
This is a firm that we can use when we end up with items to be excess that might still have a value that we can put up for auction for other school districts to purchase. So instead of just throwing out some of our excess items, we can save it to bring in some more revenue for our district.
Okay, is this as a result of some of the bond things that we're doing too?
Correct. So with some of the bond work, there were some materials that were going to be accessed by the district. So we were able to, thanks to Mr. Nyberg in the business office, we were able to reach out to this firm and put some of this up for auctions for maybe a district who does not have bonds going on and needs some, nicer items, like just like the cafeteria tables.
Well, that's great. The other thing is the New York Class Municipal Cooperation Agreement. If you could explain that a little bit.
Yes, that is just another way to invest our money. We currently use a small local bank and a larger bank. This gives us an opportunity to be able to follow the market closer and make more interest for the district as we have some of the funds sitting aside.
Okay. I think that's what Mr. Schindler brought up. Is that right?
Say it again? Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that was that.
Okay. So all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Let's move on to the opportunity for the public to be heard on non-agenda items. Oh, nobody? Okay. Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second? Thank you, everyone.